Are you feeling stuck in your career? Often this means that you feel that you're lacking opportunities for advancement or you feel unable to change your path even if you're unhappy. It's a feeling of being confined with little options to improve your professional situation. These are also feelings that entrepreneurs experience. If you are looking for mindset shifts or for professional help, then stay tuned. Our topic is career decision to powerful transformation. Jodi Tingling, thank you so much for being here. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. I am fantastic. I wake up every day with such gratitude, and I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for saying yes. Well, before we get started, Jodi, I just want to welcome everyone who is watching. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for watching as well. We would love if you could share in the comments the name of your business, because we'll be able to see your name. So, the name of your business, your website, and who it is that you help. This is going to be a very engaging conversation, engaging because I'm talking to Jodi, and I'm able to take a look at the chat, and hopefully we'll be able to see the comments and address those as well. So Jodi, let's get started. I'm going to give you the floor. You could let me know about your business and who it is that you serve.
Yeah, so my business, so I call myself a career therapist. So I obviously went to school to become a therapist. So I'm a licensed therapist here in Ontario, as you mentioned. What a lot of people don't know is that your therapist can specialize in different areas, right? And so just as much as there's like trauma therapists, couples therapists, therapists that work with specifically with people with ADHD, there's also like vocational or career therapists, and that is exactly what I do. So I help people get clear in their career. A lot of times people come to me when they're feeling really stuck in their career, and really that's what I help them to navigate through is those feelings of being stuck, and really helping them to understand themselves a lot better so that they can make better decisions. So that's one piece of my business is the one-on-one therapeutic support, and of course the other half of it is working with teams and organizations, and really helping organizations and their people become like healthy, high performing. Really helping them really understand their team's needs, and even bridging some of those gaps that they're experiencing as well. So that's a little bit about me and what I do. And I can honestly say I absolutely love what I do, and I love the people that I work with. So,
That is awesome. And you know what, Jodi, you are the first therapist that I know of who is a career therapist.
yes.
Why that why that field?
Why that field? That's a good question. So, some people know this about me, some don't, but I actually started out my career as an employment consultant for a charitable organization. So, I started out helping people navigate their career path, helping people with their job search journey, helping with like coaching and interviewing skills and all of that good stuff. So, all of the practical and tangible things to help to support people in their career. And, for myself, I've had many career pivots. And, I ended up in this space because, I started out as a general therapist, I would say, helping people. Specifically, I really enjoyed helping people with workplace concerns, stress, burnout. And then it really transformed for me because, even after COVID, a lot of people have had a lot of perspective shifts when it comes to what is next for them in their career. And so just hearing story after story of people saying, I'm unsatisfied in my career. I need to do something else. I need help. I need support. That really spiraled my action into really specializing into career therapy, because that service is really needed and necessary. And as I reflect back as well too, I also had a career therapist that I worked with when I was navigating one of my career transitions as well too. So even reflecting on that experience and how um, amazing and empowering that experience was for me, even to take those next steps to pivot into my next role, it was amazing. And so I really wanted to offer that service to people.
Okay, thank you. Well,
Yeah.
I'm seeing that we have Travis on. Hi, Travis. I'm not getting it up on my StreamYards. I'm looking on my phone. Hi, Travis. Great to see you here. And yes, he says great initiative to help people find purpose in their careers. And thank you, Priti, for joining as well. So you talked about the fact that you've had some different career pivots.
Yes.
And then you also said that you worked with a career therapist. When
Yeah.
did you decide to do this as an entrepreneur and
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, and why, right? I think, for me, it was one of my employment experiences where I just was not satisfied in the level of professional development and growth that I was experiencing within my career. And so, part of what I do is advocate for myself in the career and my career, and I tell my clients to do this as well too. And so, when you aren't getting that career satisfaction in your current role, what do? You look outside, right? And so that's when I started to get really curious while I was working to say, like, oh, okay, are there areas where I can start to do things on my own, start to learn on my own? Is there a way that I can perhaps start my own business? And I really just started it as a professional growth sort of project for myself. And that landed into so much more, because I found for myself, I was learning so much more, developing my business and experimenting with it than I was in my actual 9 to 5 job. And so for me, it was just taking that to the next level. Um,
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay. You talked about being curious, and the word curious has really started to stand out for me last year. Like, I'm the person
Mm,
who, hmm, I don't think this part is curious, but say finding the answers. Like, either I have the answers
yes.
or I have to look for the answers a certain way.
Hmm.
But I think in terms of being curious, it's about being open for the answers that are going to come to you, and then digging in. And those answers, they don't always have to have they don't always have to have like a full answer. It's just about, that's interesting, right? So
Yeah.
I've been open more to that, being curious.
And
Um,
honestly, that's a main point that I emphasize with my clients as well too. I tell them all the time, go where your curiosity lies, right? If you have like even just a question about something, let that pull you in that direction. Get some answers for those questions that you have, because more than anything, that curiosity will lead you to something. Right? Whether or
exactly.
not you go down that path, that's a different story, but it's going to give you some answers that you probably, you've had those questions in your mind for a long time, so let that curiosity lead you.
Yeah, and one more thing about curiosity, Jody. So I had an appointment yesterday, and I was like, I'm going into this appointment. Quite sure it's going to be like this. I'm going to just be prepared for it.
Mhm.
And it turned out to be quite different. And I came off feeling so alive and inspired.
Mm,
And, when I shut down my computer, I was like, wow, that was totally different than what I anticipated. I
mhm.
definitely have to walk into things with curiosity as opposed to getting my guard up.
Right. It's such a perspective shift too.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, we're here and we're talking about the fact that, often people are feeling stuck in their career. And in my intro, I talked about the fact that entrepreneurs feel stuck too. They
Yes.
might feel stuck about what is the next step that they want to take, that the decisions that they can make. But my question is that in terms of those individuals who are stuck in their career, how would you describe who these individuals are? Like what are some of the traits that they tend to have?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I would say, when I meet most folks or folks that are like reaching out to me, they're just telling me, like they're feeling just really burnt out in their career. They're feeling, that stuck word. They're just saying like, I don't know what to do next. They're just feeling defeated, and they just need that support for the next steps. I would say a lot of folks that reach out to me tend to be like overthinkers. I'm definitely an overthinker as well too. But sometimes that overthinking, if you don't have somebody there to even just help support you in kind of navigating some of those ideas, you end up in that same place, right? It's just like kind of your thoughts are on loop. And so yeah, these are the people that tend to reach out to me. Maybe they've been in their careers for a long period of time. Maybe they're thinking about entrepreneurship as well, but for some it could be a little bit risky. But it's also about teasing out those ideas, to really understand yourself a little bit more. And that's what I do. I help you understand yourself a little bit more so that you can make those decisions and take the steps that you need to take, even if they're baby steps, right? I always say small steps lead to big action. So it's not that you have to take a drastic step today, but those small steps really build up.
I like the fact, like I always think of analogies, and you talked about overthinkers and the loop. And it's
Mhm.
like if you are, I would think, if you're thinking, if you're that overthinker and it's
Yeah.
that loop, you're always coming back to yourself for the answer,
Mhm.
and you never will have that answer,
You won't
right?
you won't get that answer for yourself because it's like your brain is trying to get the answer, but there is no end to that loop. So
Right.
you have to seek out support to get the answers to those questions.
Right. And you mentioned the fact that sometimes it's the fact that people are in their place of employment for a very long time. I was
Yeah.
at my place of employment for like 26 years, and we would
Mhm.
have so older person as well as some of my coworkers there for over a decade, hitting the
Yeah.
20 something year mark. And we would see these young people come in and we get along with them so well. And then maybe like month 4, maybe month 3, all of a sudden, like they come in on their shift and they're like, Dee, it was so great working with you. But you know what? I really, hopefully we can get together for coffee and stuff. But this job wasn't for me. So I found a job. And, me and the other individuals who were there for such a long time, we're like, wow, how do these young people find the gumption, like to exit out or just be so curious, if something
Yes.
isn't for them, they
Yes.
look, for, um, they seek for that, that job that they're gonna really love. And, for us or for those individuals who are at that job for a long time, we just feel like we're not going to be able to get out of it. So it's
Yeah.
interesting that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say we could all use that energy of the person that says, "This
Mhm.
isn't working for me. Let's try something else." But
Right.
but understandably, it is really challenging, and that's why I work with mostly, mid-level professionals
Mhm.
who has been in their role for a really long time and just like have been thinking about it. It's been on their mind,
Yeah.
but to take that next step, it can be can feel like one of the hardest things, right? So, for example, I had a client of mine that she's about to exit out of my program, but she actually told me that, and during our intake process, she said that I've been in my career for 20 years and I've hated it all 20 years. So now is the time for me to invest back in me. And now she's choosing a completely different path. But I resonate with what you're saying when you're like 20 plus years in one career, and it's hard to take that next step, but it's possible. It's never too late to change your career or change your mind or get curious about something else. It's never too
Right.
late.
Right. Well, Jodi, what would you say are two myths that those who are in a career go through and it's stopping them from transitioning to the job of their dreams?
Yeah, I think even just going back to that point of like being like completely loyal to that employer
Mhm.
for, X amount of years. It like I said, it's never too late to change your career, even if you've been in a path for a really long time. It's okay to want something different. What you wanted when you were, in your early 20s is going to be different from what you want in your 40s.
Mhm.
So, it's really important to kind of take a look at that piece. So, like that's one myth. It's never too late to change in your career. And then the other myth I think a lot of people tell themselves is like, other people can do it. I can't do it. You can do it. You can do it with a little bit of, support and guidance, or even if you have like a support system in your network, and really just surrounding yourself with people who are trying to also, do something different in their lives and in their careers. You can do it. It might take a little bit longer. That's okay, right? But you can do it. Anything you set your mind to, you can do. And I'd always tell my kids that as well too.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm very curious about your four-part framework. I ask my
Yeah.
guests to always share with me about what it is that they do. So, I mean, I received like some really great information, and I also like looked you up online. And I'm like, what is this four-part framework? I would really love to know, and I think your audience would love to know about it as well.
Okay, so my framework, no surprise, is called the Get Clear framework. So I work with people through this four-part framework. So the C really stands for clarity. So we work together to really take a deep dive into yourself. We do some career assessments, really get you to understand what it is you want, what it is you need. We take a look at your core values, what's important to you now in this current stage of your life. So really a deep dive into that clarity piece. We also take a look at the second part of the framework is the lifestyle and value alignment. So really taking a look at what it is that you want for the next stage of your life. Like, okay, you've done part one or two of your life. What does that next stage look like for you? What would you like to see more of? So we do a little bit of exploration around there. And then we do a comprehensive exploration of the career options that are available to you. What have you always been thinking about? Or maybe you have no idea, but let's really explore those options now. And then we get to action and reassessment or redesign implementation. And this is where I work with my clients to do some targeted activities to really experiment whether or not the career that they think they want is actually the career that they want. There's some really great human design tests that I put my clients through to test their theory, and then we map it out. We redesign your path together. By the time you're done working with me, you have a complete roadmap of what steps you need to take next to get to the next stage of your career. So that is my clear framework, and you hear me talking about it all the time. Get clear in your career. That's exactly what I mean.
I love the fact that it's clear and it's simple.
Mm,
And sometimes we pretty things up, like in our marketing.
yeah, yeah,
And this is just like, I know what this is. Thank you. I'm going to reach out to Jodi.
yeah.
I
To
have
get
to
clear.
ask you, yeah, to get clear. I'm so curious. We're going
Hmm.
to say this so often.
Yeah.
You talk about the activities. Can you describe a couple of activities that you do with your clients that, so that they're able to say, yeah, this is what I really want to do, or, uh-oh, that's not quite really what I want to do.
Yeah, so these are actually called prototyping activities. So if anybody has read the book Designing Your Life, that's like one of my all-time favorite books. Um, these are like curated activities for you to really test out whether you want to do that career. So one major one that people kind of shy away from is engaging in curiosity conversations. There's that word curious again. So, getting curious about the area that you think you want to work in, reaching out to people, having an in-depth conversation. What is the day in the life of somebody working in this career path? That can be an example of one. Others can be, maybe trying it, doing like some freelance working, taking on a project. It can also include doing a little bit of job shadowing. And so there are lots of ways to try out, test out a career path before you fully commit to it.
Mm,
One of the things that I do see a lot of folks doing is as a default, when they're kind of like, okay, I need to know what's next for my career, they just kind of automatically enroll in like a school program. And I'm like,
mm.
no, don't do that.
No, you're
Figure
such
out what you want to do
an
first and then work backwards from there. Do you even need a school program to be able to switch to that next career pathway? So before even people go into enrolling in any sort of program, it's finding out whether or not you want to be in that field. So even before you enrolled, speak to the program coordinator. What is involved in the program? What is involved in that career pathway, right? So these are small, simple things, simple steps that you can take before you make any huge commitment to changing your career path.
Interesting. Now,
Mhm.
what happens when you put your clients through this part, this letter A, the acting, and finding
Mhm.
out, and then they're like, oh, that's not what I want to do.
Hmm. Wow, that's interesting. I don't think I've had anybody yet
Sorry.
that has said have been like kind of gung ho about something and then it just hasn't panned out. Usually with folks, I would say there are a few options that they're considering, right? So usually for most folks, it's not like, once they work with me, it's not like, yes, right away, I know I want to do this career path, right? Usually for them, they're kind of between, two or three options. And these targeted
Mm,
activities kind of helps them to make those decisions. And or they could be in a little bit of a exploration period for a little while before they make that major step as well, and that is a-okay because sometimes we do need to take a little bit of a slow down path to take that next step. So
mm.
yeah.
Okay, great. It reminds me of, when I was plotting to leave my job, and I started working with a business coach like 9 months before. So I remember it was the first day of school in September, and I actually said to her, I would like to leave my job by this date. Well, this month, a
Mhm.
particular month. And she said, well, why? And I said, well, everyone's got to have a goal. Like I couldn't just sign up with somebody. That's just not how my brain works. Just sign up
Mhm.
and hope that I get there.
Mhm.
And in terms of like the activities, she would set up activities for me to check out some networking events. So I
Love
would
it.
go out to visit these events on my
Yes.
days off.
Yep.
I know some of my former coworkers are going to be watching. Sometimes I call them sick. And I
It's
would
okay. You're not there anymore.
right, right, it's okay. I love you. So I called in sick and I would have a table. And actually, like, not only was I getting to know other entrepreneurs in that community as well,
Mhm.
it was also very helpful when when I got to June, I think it was like June 15th, and I left.
Yeah.
And people knew me because they saw me at these events. So these activities really helped to set me up for success as well. That's what it reminds me of.
That's amazing, and that's a really good point. I always tell people to surround yourself in a community. Really, really important. So that could also be, another test for yourself to say, like, okay, I'm going to surround myself in this space that I want to be in, and attending events, attending professional development opportunities. These are all ways to be connected to folks.
Right. So, I have questions, and I do have a question that you might not be prepared for, but sometimes I get
Okay.
questions in my head at the same time because I know we're talking about like how is it that we can change our mindset. So we talked about it's never too late. We spoke about things like that. And when I see your content first thing, like literally, it's like the first post I see in the morning on LinkedIn. So when somebody's reading your content, or for that
Mhm.
individual who's not on LinkedIn, because I'm going to share this video elsewhere, by the way, so somebody else will be able to see this elsewhere. So somebody who is unhappy, like, I don't know, what are their actions? Are they on Google and are they looking for certain words like I'm unhappy in my job? What to do if I'm unhappy? Or I don't know. What do they do to find you, Jodi?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think most people, I would say when they're unhappy with their job, they're already looking for another job. So I'm not on a job board, but yeah, I would say, to look for me. One, you know me now. So, you can Google my name and join me on LinkedIn. Like Dee says, I am there every morning from Monday to Friday, giving you insights, tips, and strategies. And then I also have my newsletter as well, to the Purposeful Pathway, that I do once a month, and some really some personal stories and some career strategies and tips, and you can kind of get to know me a little bit better there as well too. So
Right.
yeah.
And I'm glad you said you have a LinkedIn newsletter because
Yeah.
when people are searching for their pain points, your newsletter is going to come up on Google. So, okay,
Mhm.
awesome. Thank you
Mhm.
for answering that question that came out of the blue. Now, this is a question that I do ask all of my guests because I do marketing, I do LinkedIn
Yes.
marketing. Um, but what are your favorite platforms that you like, social
Yeah.
media platforms or online tools? Like, pick one or two that you like to use for your business.
Yeah, so my favorite is LinkedIn, of course. Um, if you are not on LinkedIn, or if you're not using it to its full capacity, especially if you're an entrepreneur as well, to make sure to get in contact with Dee, because she is amazing at what she does. She is like the LinkedIn expert. But yeah, LinkedIn has been amazing for me. Even before I started like posting at the rate that I did, I would always be able to connect with folks, get opportunities from LinkedIn through the DMs. Don't sleep on the DMs. The DMs is
Ooh.
where things go down. Um, yeah, and just being able to be a part of a community of folks as well too is amazing. LinkedIn has so much power beyond, just kind of job postings, or I've just gotten a promotion, right? Like it's so much more than that. And I would say, even when I was playing around with entrepreneurship a little bit, that's where I got my start to start like posting things, so post
Hmm.
articles, and oh, this looks interesting. Anybody have any insights on this? Right. And so, to being a little bit more of like that thought leader on LinkedIn, it's done so much for my career. So that is definitely one of the platforms that I use. I am now starting to go on YouTube as well. So
Ooh.
I did a live session this month, and so I posted that live session on YouTube. So I'm thinking about perhaps offering maybe a live session a month and posting it on there, and giving people some more like curated career tips, because we could all use them. We could all use them.
I love that. I'm going to have to subscribe.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. I'm going to share the link in the comments there. Another question to you is, like transitioning to that dream career. It's
Mhm.
exciting.
Mm.
And I'm curious, well, I don't know if it's like, what's more? Is it more exciting than scary? I think like when I think back to when I wanted to move into entrepreneurship, um, initially it was so excitement was this big,
Yep.
and scary was this. And then
Yep.
as I got closer to the date, excitement was this and scary was that, right? So,
Mhm.
once your clients are working with you, I know you get them to their goals, but once they've started to work with you,
Yeah.
how do they feel?
I would say they feel empowered. They feel empowered to take those next steps in their lives. A lot of the times, I would say that with the clients that I work with, there is a point in there where we have to overcome a little bit of the resistance, right? Exactly what you were talking about when the scary becomes like this, and then the excitement becomes like this. That's a major piece that we have to work through. And boy, when they work through that, the mindset shift is huge. And it's really about, kind of working with people to see, okay, well, do you want your old life, or do you want to step into the new version of yourself?
Mm,
Those are the two choices there. And so, working with them, that's the empowered feeling of, okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing it while scared. I am working to meet that new version of myself. And so I would say the major word there is empowered.
right. And they've got you as a partner to
Ah,
guide them
I'm a
through.
cheerleader.
You're a cheerleader. I love that.
Virtual pom poms, right?
Yeah. Well, just going back to a post that I saw about a week and change ago, and I saw this on your website. So,
Yeah.
we talk about the one-on-one, but I do know that you do like the team building and the
Yes.
workshops. Can you
Yeah.
give a bit of insight? Because I think like anyone who's, there might be somebody who works at an organization, or maybe there's somebody who's not interested in switching to another career, but they know others that they're working with. So I would love if you can share about how it is that you work with organizations, and I'm sure the word is going to spread.
Yeah, so I think my original way to work with organizations is through either wellness workshops, where I kind of walk through, kind of like stress management techniques, how to manage when there's like times of change and things of that nature. So I work during for that aspect. Now I'm pivoting a little bit, not to say I'm not offering that anymore, but I'm pivoting to do a little bit more of the team building piece. So I mentioned that I offer career assessments. So career assessments is not just for individuals; it's also for teams as well, too, to be able to even just understand how you show up at work. What are your work preferences? How do you manage stress? Right, that can all impact your communication at work. And so I'm now offering more targeted, data-driven team building workshops for teams, whether you're trying to do like a team building day or an employee engagement day or a retreat. I can come in and help support. And or if your team has not been functioning well, or it has been undergoing a lot of changes, I can also come in to help to drive some results and help you understand the way that other people on the team work and how you work best as well too, and really tailoring the communications to help to support people at work, because I always say that you spend a lot of your time at work, so why not make it a place that you want to be, right? And continuing to build those skill sets for yourself.
Right. And it's probably really important for employee retention.
Yes.
So
Huge.
how is it that I show up at work? What are
Yeah.
some of my likes? And
Hmm.
then, because people can move up within the company that they're in,
Yeah.
move up or just move to like the same type of level, but a different type of job.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think one of the best things that companies and organizations can do is work with the team that they have. Yeah.
Yes. And also like being able to have those curated career development conversations. I don't know about you, but like my best leaders would have these great conversations about like your career trajectory, where you're going, would you consider applying to other positions within the organization? And so it's definitely huge for one, succession planning, and two, employee engagement and retaining those employees. Because if you are a leader, you don't want to lose your top talent. You don't want to be like, that person, that colleague that Dee was that had at your workplace where they're like, okay, this isn't working for me. Bye. Right. You want to
Right.
keep that top talent. And these are some targeted strategies to do that.
Right. Oh, I'm really glad I asked that question.
Yeah.
Well, we are wrapping up, and so glad that you are on this live today. But tell us, Jodi, and I know you alluded to it already, but please let us know, like the last things that we can all think about, like where is the best place or the best places to follow you?
I would say follow me on LinkedIn. I'm always on LinkedIn. Send me a DM, send me a message, send me a comment. But yeah, follow my stuff on LinkedIn. I do posts weekly from Monday to Friday, and then I also have my newsletter. And I'm hoping to have more live events. I think I mentioned once a month at least. So you'll be able to be a part of that if you are following me and in the know. So that's where you can find me.
Okay, awesome. And I'll be sure to put some of those in the comments. So thank you, Jodi, for being on this live. Thank you so much for saying yes. And for everyone who is watching live, or if you are watching the replay, this is going to go up on YouTube. If you're watching the replay on LinkedIn or on YouTube, please be sure to share, if you're an entrepreneur especially, like um, your website, and also where it is that who are the clients that you serve as well. But yes, back to the much gratitude. Thank you everybody for watching, and have yourself a great week. And Jodi, have yourself a great rest of your day.
You too. Take care, Dee.